Hi Aries, welcome to your eclipse reading. So these are going to be special readings for the eclipse season. I'm going to focus mainly on the solar eclipse that we have on the 25th. Hopefully I'll be able to do some videos for the other one, but we'll see. I can't promise. So let's see what's going on for you Aries. What can you expect this eclipse season? So on the 25th, we're having a partial solar eclipse at around 2 degrees of Scorpio. This is conjunct the planet Venus, the goddess Venus. So there's going to be a lot of Venusian themes showing up with these eclipses now, because it's tightly conjunct the sun in this eclipse. And the next one is going to be in Taurus. Venus is going to be still around in the area with this eclipse. And of course, Venus rules Taurus. So we're having this interplay of Venusian themes and eclipse themes where it could be, especially with the Taurus archetype, about values, self-worth, self-value, what we value in others, what we value in general, in your work, in your career, in what you own, what you do, your skills, your talents, your creativity, things like that. Relationships you have with others. Of course, depends on where this eclipse falls in your chart. So let's see, Aries. What do we have for Aries, please? You have the earth element, stability. So this has to do with your material situation, with the tangible, the practical things. So that might be a theme showing up for you during this eclipse. This eclipse doesn't impact you in any kind of way. You don't have any aspects to it. But you do share something in common with this eclipse, the ruling planet, which is Mars. So for some of you, you might be taking some form of action when it comes to your stability. You might be trying to ground yourself a little bit. And also what I'm getting, grounding, hold on, give me a second. Trying to put this into a phrase. Living your values, okay? Embodying your values. That's what I heard. Embodying your values and living in such a way that is in accordance with your values, with what it is that you do in a practical level, and introducing that stuff into your life and grounding those in reality. That's probably going to bring you some stability in life when it comes to money, when it comes to structures, things that are long lasting. I feel like there's a shift there. It's happening during this eclipse. There's a shift in where you're beginning to embody your values into reality, into the practical reality, if that makes sense. So let's see what else for Aries. You've got Saturn return, age. See, again, there's this theme showing up twice here, especially with Saturn. Saturn return, this particular archetype is literally embodying maturity, okay? Saturn return happens roughly between 29 to 30 years of age, give or take, depending on each person. Of course, it happens again around 60, if you're at that age. But it's literally the embodiment of knowledge, the embodiment of wisdom, the embodiment of, growing up, having experiences, learning from those experiences and applying them to your life in a practical way. This is also a rite of passage, Saturn return. So for some of you, you are literally going through your Saturn return right now, whether you're roughly around 30 years of age or 60. So there's a rite of passage here. Okay, I feel like you're becoming more mature, more grounded, more stable. embodying the things you've learned over the years. You know, doesn't matter how old you are, even if you're not dealing with a Saturn return right now, there's a lot of extracting wisdom from things and applying them and going through that kind of an unpleasant time, because, you know, with Saturn, it comes a lot of harsh truths. Okay, this is not a lovey-dovey planet. It's can be quite harsh on the way it shows reality. Okay, so for some of you, you might be dealing with some harsh reality, especially with the earth element. You may also be feeling like you may be urged to put in more work, to put in more time, more diligence, more discipline into, you know, the practical side of life, because Saturn is also the practical side of ourselves. He rules this tangible reality, this solid, earthy realm that we live in. So there's something about that. You're being challenged in some way here with Saturn to see reality for what it is, to make adjustments, to learn, to mature, to grow, to embody your own values, to live in accordance with your own values. Again, here, Venus rules an earth sign, so because this is involved in the eclipse, there's something here about that, you know, your practical outer reality. So let's see one more for Aries. You've got South Node, North Node, life's purpose. I thought that was the South Node. Interesting. Some of you might have the North Node in these signs that we're having eclipses. If that's the case, you have the Taurus-Scorpio axis with the nodes. This is quite powerful for you because it's triggering something there, okay? Whether you have the North Node in Scorpio or in Taurus, in that case, you're having a lunar return or a half lunar return. So there is something going on here where, you know, you're being propelled towards this North Node where you're supposed to be headed. And I feel like for many of you, where you're headed is to a stage of your life where there is more maturity, okay? And there is more maturity in dealing with practical things, dealing with the reality of things. You know, we'll see, we'll get some tarot cards as well to see what else it's involved in this story. But the North Node is usually the ascending node, as they say. So, you know, for some of you with Saturn return, you're ascending to a new level, Aries, okay? Some of you may have to do with your career. Perhaps you've gained a lot of experience where you are in your career or your work, and now it's time for you to go to the next level. You know, maybe if you're in school, you're graduating, you're getting a PhD, a doctorate, whatever that is for you. So you're kind of ascending and embodying your life purpose. So the main message I'm getting here for you, just to simplify it, you're literally embodying your purpose. You're embodying who you are. You're maturing. You're I wouldn't say there's like a transformation, because it's not a transformation. It's literally just evolving, okay? But evolving in, you know, in kind of a human way, in kind of an earthly human way. You know, you're maturing physically, mentally, emotionally. And for some of you, again, you're going to the next level in life, okay? You know, for some of you, again, if you've had a lot of experience in life in a specific field, or just in general, there is the next level coming up for you. It's a very, very earthy, grounding kind of an energy for you here. So all to do with earthly matters, okay? So let me see what else the tarot has for you. So what do we have for Aries, please? What else can we tell Aries? So Aries, I do feel like for many of you there is a bit of a matter of direction here when it comes to what to do. Here you are coming through here very strongly with these fiery cards, especially the Knight of Wands. Some of you, I would say, there's a move in the cards for you here with the Knight of Wands and the Three of Wands. It does seem like you're seeking your home and your stability somewhere else. If you have that in the plans, or you know, this particular theme or idea is coming up to you where I just don't like it here anymore, I want to move somewhere else. I have this urge to go somewhere, which is quite in conflict with the stability element, because it does involve you leaving some kind of a stable place that you might find yourself at this point. It's interesting with the Saturn here, Ten of Swords and the Seven of Wands. I do feel like, again, there's some ending happening here that with the Ten of Swords and I mean, it's kind of a harsh ending, and Saturn is kind of a harsh planet. So I feel like there's something going on here for you with this Ten of Swords. And just looking at the other row with this North Node, you do seem to be quite at odds with this. At odds in a sense of, I feel like you're quite bored of what you're doing and where you are currently. You know, I feel like you want some sort of a change here. It does feel like for some of you, you've been in one place for some time, but it just didn't work out. You know, there's a lot of work involved here. There's a lot of, you know, competition or fighting for something with the Seven of Wands, but there is an ending coming up here for you. And I feel like for some of you, it could be the end of you feeling quite bored and uninspired with this Four of Cups. It does seem like you're being beckoned to go towards a particular direction, to go in a particular direction. And for some of you, that direction has something to do with being overseas or moving someplace else, or being quite driven by some sort of an idea, some sort of a creative project, whatever that is, that's getting you out of that uninspired place. So I feel like there's a convergence of situations here where on one hand, Saturn is making you see reality as it is, and it's somewhat at odds with what you want to do. There's like a restriction, okay? If it feels like you're being restricted from either expressing yourself, expressing your true talents, your true nature. It has something to do with your work life here for some of you with this Eight of Pentacles. It does seem like you've had to kind of struggle for some time to be, to stay where you're at, because it doesn't seem like it's pleasant for you. There's something here that you're not happy with. Either you're not happy about the direction you've been taking so far with this North Node, or it could be that, whatever is being presented to you at this point with this Four of Cups, whatever offer is coming to you, it's like it just doesn't feel like it's for you. And again, I feel like you're being restricted here, either by resources. For some of you, you're feeling restricted that in the sense of you want to do something else or you want to be somewhere else, but you're being restricted by money or resources, or, again, stability, like kind of shaking up stability where you are. You might have to leave that behind. But there is an ending here with this Ten of Swords. Something is coming to an end. There's also a sense of defeat here, feeling defeated. With the Seven of Wands, it does seem like you've been fighting for your position for some time. It could be that there is a position at work that you've been fighting for some time. There's something about that, or it could be something else that's ending in your life because you've, the Saturn return, you finally faced reality for what it is, or you've matured enough in this particular situation that you've outgrown it. Because Saturn return can also talks about situations that we outgrow. Literally in astrology, Saturn return means literally outgrowing your, what's the word? Outgrowing your childhood attitude, outgrowing your childhood patterns, or things like that are childish in nature. So there's some harsh reality here that's coming into play for you. Whether this has something to do with what you do for work, you just finally realize that this isn't something you want to do anymore. It's not growing. It's not benefiting you. It's making you feel uninspired, or you're just not happy with it. And there's a sense here for you of wanting to kind of charge ahead towards something here. Okay. Again, some of you have that on your mind, to move. Okay, either move direction in life, move place of work, move home, whatever that means to you. And again, some of you might be contemplating or questioning, what is my purpose here, literally. Perhaps you feel like you have some sort of a role to play in this world, or, in your field of expertise, or whatever it is you do in your small world. You're questioning, you're contemplating on, what should I be doing here that's benefiting me and perhaps other people. Okay. I do feel like some of you might be fighting for some kind of a position here, whether this is a new job or within the same job you've been with before. I do want to see what is ending here. I do feel like for many of you, Aries, you are outgrowing some sort of a phase in your life. Okay, you're outgrowing that. And the North Node has a energy of wanting more out of life. The North Node is quite insatiable in that way. So it does feel like if you're bored and uninspired, you're desiring more, okay? It's like you're thinking there's got to be more than this, especially if you've had quite a rough time up until now. You just, you're quite restricted, quite held back, held down in some way. You just feel like there's got to be more, okay? I want more than this. I want adventure. I want, I want to live. I want to explore, okay? There's a line of the explorer here. But again, there's still that constriction, that restriction of exploring, and you're over there desiring something more, something new. Yeah, I do feel like this does have something to do with your independence, okay, and what it is you do for work. Is you're desiring that material independence, okay? And what's coming to an end here, possibly for some of you, you've been quite dependent on something, okay, or someone with the Nine of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. It could be that you, for some of you, you've been trying to create your own business or your own independent self, and somehow that did not work out, okay? And I do feel like you're feeling quite restricted when it comes to your resources, okay? For some of you, resources might be taken away from you, okay? Perhaps due to some unfortunate thing, or what's the word? You've been somehow cheated of your own value, of your own work, okay? It seems like you've put a lot of effort into something and you got nothing out of it, or you got backstabbed, okay? It does sort of feel like you're being robbed of your value here, okay? And you're kind of putting that into question during this time. So I would say, Aries, you're definitely wanting more, but there are some limitations and there are some restrictions to this desire of yours of wanting more and wanting adventure. And I do feel like for some of you, if you decide to go on that path of adventure, of exploring something new, that stability you used to have, that comes into question with this. You know, you're thinking, should I just abandon what I've built so far? Because with Saturn here, you might have built something that was more long lasting. But you're definitely being pulled to go towards something, towards adventure, towards something new, towards wanting more out of life. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. I'll be talking about it for the next hour, so hopefully you got something out of it. That was your reading, Aries. I wish you the best, and we'll speak soon. Bye.